The young population is getting affected by a ghost problem and is denominated the future heading problems.
Breaking news! It, we're at a party or simply in a soccer game. No one is safe from it, but it especially affects young people.
Billion young people around the world had at risk of hearing loss due to the spore of noise that is part of our daily habitats. More than 43 million people between 12 and 35 years old already suffer from hearing loss in developed countries.
On the occasion of the International Day of Hearing Care, World Health Organization estimates that 50% of this age group is at risk due to the MP3 players and smartphones, and 40% noxious noises levels in clubs, parties and bars. How do we know when we're damaging our ears?
Experts consider that 85 decibels for a maximum of 8 hours is the maximum level of risk-free exposure and humans can assume. The allowable time period decreases as the sound intensity increases. The question is best answered by referring to concrete examples.
Devices such as headphones can range from 57 decibels to 136 decibels at the maximum value. In nightclubs, discos, and bars, the average noise levels can range from 104 decibels to 112 decibels, according to the parameters that the World Health Organization marks no longer be safe. The same happens in sports facilities where the level oscillates between 80% decibels and 117 decibels. Decibels here are
Tenemos con Sandrita Sosa, la profesora con más estilos del planeta. Y total de el video. Olvidé lo que acaba de decir, Chaves. No lo dices en serio, Sandrita. ¿Cómo que se siente? Ay, fue una cámara. Adiós. Buenas tardes, eso es todo.
the decibels here are In this case, we will talk about logarithm functions. A logarithm is simply an exponent that is written in a special way. For example, we know that the following exponential equation is true. In this case, the base is 3 and the exponent is 2. We can write this equation in a logarithm form with identical meaning as follows. What say this as the logarithm of base 9 to the base we say this is as the logarithm of 9 to the base 3 is 2. What we have effectively done is to move the exponential down onto the main line. This was done historically to make multiplications and divisions easier. But logarithms are still very handy in mathematics.
So what happened here? We had 3 to the 2 is equal to 9. And we can write it down the same as logarithm in base 3 of 9 is equal to 2. And as I already said, with identical meaning. Now, the logarithm function is defined as f of x is equal to logarithm base b to the x. The base of the logarithm is b. The two most common bases that we use are the base 10 and the base e, which means Euler. The logarithm functions have many real-life applications in acoustics, electronics, airways analysis, and population prediction.
Exponential functions have the form of f(x) is equal to b raised to the power x, where b is the base and x is the exponent or the power. If b is greater than 1, the function continuously increases in value as x increases. A special property of exponential functions is that the slope of a function also continuously increases as x increases. An example of an exponential function is f(x) is equal to 2 f(x) is equal to 2 raised to the power x. Consider the function in this way. In this case, we have an exponential function with base 2. Some typical values of this function would be as we can see, we gave the values to x, and that are the results in fx that we have. And this graphically, as we can see, in that way. So, as x increases, y also increases. As x increases, the slope of the graph also increases. The curve passes through 0.1 our exponential curves of the form fx is equal to b raised to the power x. Pass through 0.1 if b is bigger than 0. The curve does not pass through the x-axis. It just gets closer and closer to the x-axis as we take smaller and smaller x values.
The decibels. By the name, we can say that are bells with the base 10, and it is going to be our main base for the measuring decibels. It works as a function where xs is the input and xo is the output, where the input will be the entrance signal and the output will be the departure signal. We need to have clear how a decibel is the 10th part of a bell.
Is the noise level inside a car during 8 hours. 90 decibels, that is the lawn mower, 2 hours and 30 minutes. 95 decibels, that is the average motorcycle noise, during 47 minutes. 100 decibels, that is the horn of a car or an underground train, and it can last 15 minutes. 105 decibels, the empty player at full volume, 4 minutes.
Safe listening times. The safe exposure to a concert at full volume is only 28 seconds, according to World Health Organization. Some examples of maximum listening times recommended by World Health Organization are